What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with In-Depth Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today, for episode 157, is simplifying the B2B lead generation. So before we get started, let's do the housekeeping of welcoming my first-time listeners. Thank you for being a guest on my show, coming on, downloading. I hope this meets what you're looking for. I hope it answers some of your questions, and I hope you continue to listen. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, download other episodes that you probably may want to get too. You never know, and depending on how you're watching this, or you're reviewing this, or how you're listening to it, we are on different platforms. So make sure you check the show notes down below to see all the places we're at. And for my worldwide listeners that are continuously rocking with me, sharing the love, oh my God, thank you. Thank you. Now, like I said before, I did a part 2 to my part 1 from last week. So really technically last week is like within the next hour. So I don't know if we got that 20th review, but my goal is to increase our reviews. And if you're the 20th review or the 21st or the 22nd or so on and so forth, I will make sure to plug you and say thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So let's get into this. So I went a little bit longer, but I was doing something new with the last podcast. Well, now here we go. Simplifying the lead generation aspect from B2B. So for those that don't know that just joined the show for the first time, last week I talked about how to use LinkedIn for B2B lead generation. And this week I want to simplify the B2B lead generation as a more holistic. So I always like providing an example, in which LinkedIn was that example. And now I just want to talk about on a holistic, eagle eye, 30,000 feet in the sky kind of view. But I want to make sure I ducktail the two. So I did LinkedIn. I did an overview. I usually, when I teach this, I do this in about an hour. So there's some things that I did leave out. But the key thing for that is I should say this podcast last week, the last episode, typically when it comes to, let me make sure that we're good here. Okay, yeah, we're good. My battery's about to die, but we should still be okay. All right, sorry. When it comes to B2B, it is focused on maybe one or two people. B2C, you're focused on multitude of people, however they may have the same psychographics that we talked about the week prior, right? The demographics, geographical location, they may be in the same grade or the same destination, or maybe they're rooting for the same team. So some of those things already like perfectly are in the scenario of being at the right time, right place. B2B is a lot harder in that regard. So when I'm trying to simplify it from the times that Ray and we did it earlier in the show, which you can look in the earlier, like before we got to the hundreds, like I think with 30, I have to look. I will be disciplined and not scroll on my computer. But when it comes to even Jay Rathel, we went into it in regards to the ads. Now, on the last show, the first screen you saw were my ads. What I want to say to you about that by ducktailing last week episode, my goal for every client, and this is what I didn't tell you, my goal for every client is have them be confident that they can run an ad. Now, that ad, it could be B2B or it could be B2C. LinkedIn is a place where I'm running ads for my B2B clients. Now, I do have some B2Cs that would consider Bs, like my consumers are business owners, but sometimes I'm also trying to attract the non-business owners, as in the key decision makers. So what I'm simplifying here for today, and what I was trying to show you with last week, is LinkedIn is that platform for all professionals. And being that we're all professionals, LinkedIn is phenomenal for that, which is why I talked about last week is making sure your profile is set up to be that professional expert person, or that professional technician, or that professional point of contact that you need to be for your industry, your company, your skill set with that craft, whatever that may be. Here's where the B2B, when it's simplified, is you're connecting to those decision makers that have everything to do with whatever your craft may be. You are the solution to their problem. And if you're really good, you become the DNA to their company of making sure whatever goes out, that you value proposition, that product or service you offer, they use you in every single thing. But in order to be a part of that entity or to be in their DNA, you need to ensure you have a phenomenal relationship with those key decision makers. Now, it may be hard to get in the door. We talking about the barriers to entry are not easy, and they have several gatekeepers, okay? Now, you have to find a way to overcome those gatekeepers and get through the door to get to those key decision makers. But to simplify it, this is where you should be the person to go to. All right? You can say, okay, how does that simplify it? Easy. You need to be the person that is trusted. We can say the know, like, and trust. You are informing them. Maybe you are educating them. Maybe you're entertaining them. But you are the point person to make that happen. In order for you to make that happen, doesn't matter if it's virtual or if it's in person, in order for them to trust that your product and service can be a DNA thread to their value proposition that they're offering to their customers, you need to show that you're reliable, trustworthy, and your product is going to help them solve that problem that they have as well, which is why they're providing that solution, which is why you're providing that solution. So put yourself in those positions and that environment and that ecosystem that allows you to have your Sunday's best on, to also show that you can handle being the person. I was gonna say the man, right? But I also got women, so you be the woman, right? That you show them that you are the person that can handle that. In my experience, and also in my experience of talking to others, why it doesn't work is because they didn't have faith and trust in you. Okay? Before the product or service is even tested, they want to know if they can trust you. So that is the best advice I can tell you in the B2B marketing, is make sure that you are trustworthy before we start moving on to your service and product. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I wish you nothing but the best. So until next time, dream big and Godspeed. And yes, that's it. Take care, everyone.